This is the first in a series of tutorials for the Retirement Planner by RetireSoft. The Retirement Planner is a retirement planning tool that allows you to easily determine when a person can safely retire by utilizing safe withdrawal rate theory. The first thing I'm going to do is to go over a little bit of that theory. This graph shows the probability of success over 30 years of a portfolio invested 50% in stocks and 50% in bonds based on the initial withdrawal rate. The blue line represents what I call traditional safe withdrawal rates, which assumes that you take an initial withdrawal of 4, 5, or 6%, and then each year thereafter you increase the annual withdrawal by inflation. The red line is the probability of success over 30 years if you take no inflation increases, and the green line is the probability of success if you use the target percentage adjustment technique, which is a dynamic withdrawal strategy that assumes that you skip inflation increases when your portfolio performance is less than expected. The target percentage is discussed in an article that I published in the Journal of Financial Planning in January of 2013 if you want more details on that. We can see from this graph that a 4% initial withdrawal rate is relatively safe under all of these approaches. But if you increase your withdrawal rate to 5 or 6%, you take on way too much risk under the traditional safe withdrawal rate approach, which assumes that you take inflation increases each year regardless of portfolio performance. However, if you're willing to skip inflation increases when your portfolio underperforms, you can take an initial withdrawal rate as high as 5 or even 6% and still have a high degree of confidence that your portfolio will survive at least 30 years. So in order to explain all this complex research to clients in a simple way, I came up with this table. Basically, I explained to clients that what we're trying to do in retirement planning is that we're trying to get them to a point in life where they can live on an initial withdrawal rate of 4, 5, or even as high as 6%. If they can do that, their portfolio is likely to survive at least 30 years. So that's the basic foundation of the planning process and the retirement planning tool. The purpose of the retirement planner is to see at what point they can achieve a favorable rate on this table. Now I'm going to talk a bit about how these studies are done, and this is not just my work, but also the work of other retirement researchers that you'll see published in various journals. All of these studies are based on the Morningstar Ibbotson database, which is the historical capital market investment returns and inflation since 1926. Retirement researchers use this historical data to test the success probability of an initial withdrawal rate or withdrawal strategy. In my work, I assume a portfolio invested 50% in stocks and 50% in bonds. Using this historical data, there are essentially two testing methods. One method is called historical rolling periods, which is the method Bill Bengen used in his celebrated 4% rule article. This method looks back in time to test whether a specific withdrawal rate or a dynamic withdrawal strategy would have survived every 30 consecutive year periods since 1926. Monte Carlo simulation uses average returns and standard deviations of the historical capital market returns to randomly generate thousands of scenarios from which probabilities can be calculated. The important thing to understand here is that both methods use the same assumptions, just in a different manner. The methodology that the retirement planner uses is very simple. First, it looks at what your living expenses are expected to be in retirement, excluding income taxes. Then you add a factor for income taxes to get your total cash needs in retirement. From that total, you subtract your fixed retirement income such as Social Security and defined benefit pensions. The difference is the amount you'll need to withdraw from your portfolio each year. Lastly, you divide that amount by your portfolio to arrive at the withdrawal rate. So now I'm going to do a demonstration and tutorial for the retirement planner showing you how to use the key features.